All right, in this video, I'm going to continue with the read from a file. Remember, you may recall in the last video, we left off with we were creating this class that looked at this NBA.csv file and printed out all the names of NBA players who have won Player of the Week. And so that's great, but we're going to eventually get to something. I'll show you the end result of what we want to get to. We're not going to get there in this video, but probably the next one afterwards. Um, we're going to have a bar graph like this and be able to click on each bar to see the player's name appear over here, um, which is pretty cool. And all right, so let's just further um, get a little further though in our process here and learn a little bit about some Java programming at the same time. I'm going to comment this out. We don't need to print out all those names when we run our code. Um, but we are saving to this stats array list each line from that CSV file, comma separated values, and I printed out to this. I printed out to the screen the first column. So if you first row, I should say. So if we look at this one more time, you'll notice that this is the first row in there, data on Michael Ray Richards, who won it the first year that we had data of this. And so we want to now, let's just save, we want to save individual names into our pnames array list. We have this pnames array list here. And then we're going to save count, which is going to basically coordinate with this. So if we find a name in the pnames array list, we're going to keep track of how many times that person won Player of the Week in the NBA, right? And so to do that, the first thing we need to do, I'm going to go ahead and grab this code here, which I've already made available to you. I'm going to get rid of this line. We don't really need that. That was just for printing to the screen something here. And so let me put the end to our for loop there. If we look at this, this is going to go through every line here. And when we go through the line, we're going to kind of split it apart. Let me kind of explain to you very quickly how the split function works. What it does is it looks at, so this is an example here. If you have a string that is comma separated values, as we do here, you can use it with the split array. So we're saying names, which is name of our string, dot split. And I could use any delimiter, but I'm using the comma here because that's what this is. This is comma delimited. And I'm saying, hey, I'm going to make an array out of this data based on where these commas appear. And so this would create an array called myArray of size 4 that contains will contain Bob in the spot 0, index 0, and Jim in index 1, and 2 and 3, Pam and Kathy, respectively. So that's a pretty cool function. It gives you some power. And so what we have in our database is these data fields here. And so if we want to grab the name, so if we look at each row as being a comma separated values, the second spot, which is spot 1, because remember spot 0 is the first spot, is where the name is. And so that's what we're going to use to grab the names. And so let me just show you how that looks. So I already used this. So I'm going to uncomment this here. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm going to go ahead and just save. I'm going to say pnames.add, and I'm going to put S1 spot 1. Okay. And that's going to add just the names here. And so if we go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and print this out. So I'm going to do another for loop so that we can actually print this to the screen just to see what that looks like. So we're going to say pnames dot get, so we're retrieving all the values. Oh, this needs to be I. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to, right after that, do an ln. Let's go ahead and print that. So if we look here, these are all the names. Now, we've separated out all the names, which is pretty cool. And you can already see that I'm seeing some repeat names here. I've seen Larry Bird a couple times, Magic Johnson. And so what our next task is to make sure we don't have any duplicates. And in the P name, and actually if we see a duplicate, that's when we're going to increment our count array, actually array list, but we'll do that in the next video. So please click in the notes there to find the next video. Thanks.